Hello and welcome. As you probably guessed, I'm MotherAzure, you can also call me Maria. I'm back again with another pico card. And for today's video, they just told me what we're gonna do. I was not sure how I was gonna go about this reading. I didn't have a specific topic in mind. Well, I did have one, but then it didn't feel right. So I was like, okay, maybe I should be doing something else. And turns out that was the case. So what we're gonna be doing is, as you guessed by the title, whatever I titled it after I uploaded it, we're gonna be looking at guidance that you need right now to become unstuck. So if you're feeling stuck right now in your life, it's possible that you have a message here that your guides, spirit, the universe, whoever you believe in, want to give you to help you come out of that stagnation. Okay, so I'm just gonna put in I don't have any pre-picked cards. I literally only have this deck for some reason. They want me to mostly channel, and that's what we're gonna do. So I'm gonna put up only the charms for you to pick, and I will be shuffling on each of the piles. Okay, so without further ado, let's get into your pile. So for pile 1, you have this leaf. For pile 2, you have this moon charm, and for pile 3, you have the 3 leaves. Hello for pile 1 with this leaf. This is your reading. I always forget to say something in the beginning, but I apologize if you feel like I am low energy. I am low energy. For some reason, I'm not feeling quite at 100%. However, I'm still doing the reading because I feel like I can do it. And I don't know why, but I don't feel like this is just me. I feel like there's this collective energy period we're going through where we're just not feeling 100%. So I don't know, the reading for today feels fitting. I should have said this in the beginning, not right now, but let's see what you need to hear to become unstuck in whatever the situation is for you. Okay, they did want me to channel more, and usually when they want me to channel more, they start showing me stuff, and the first thing they showed me for you is a goat. Like, I'm literally seeing a goat. Wait, no, never mind. That is not a goat. That is a lamb. Okay, wrong animal. I was seeing the correct animal. I just didn't think of the word. So I'm seeing a little lamb, white lamb. That's interesting. That may be a sign for you. Maybe you asked for it. If you did, well, there it is. Let's see what you need to hear to become unstuck from whatever situation you're in right now. That's interesting because lambs usually remind me of... It's giving me kind of like the sense that maybe you don't really... You sell yourself short. That's basically what it is. So I don't feel like you give yourself enough credit for anything that you do. Look, High Priestess. You are much more capable than you think you are. However, at some point in your life, for whatever reason, you came to see yourself as someone who is not capable enough for whatever reason for any situation. Maybe you have anxiety, maybe you struggle with your mental health at some point in your life and people treated you badly for it, or you didn't receive the support that you needed, and that eventually translated into you seeing yourself as incapable or as defenseless. It's kind of like you feel very vulnerable in kind of a world that is hostile, if that makes sense. That's the sense that the lamb is giving me for some reason. To become unstuck. You have 2 major arcana thus far. This is the Fool. You've got 2 and 0. Interesting. Okay. If that was for you, if what I said resonated, then this reading is probably for you. That is the 7 of Swords. Yeah. I do feel... I'm going to get one more. I do feel like if this reading is for you, definitely the thing with the hostile environment, most definitely. So you may feel like your environment... Okay. You may not feel capable within yourself, but there's a lot in your environment that it's kind of not conductive to you feeling capable. But it's almost like it's as much a result of the environment than it is a result of these views of yourself that you have for whatever reason. I think that the reason this is probably going to help you become unstuck is because with the lamb, I just keep going with the lamb because that's like a very, I don't know why they're giving me so many messages just through that alone. With that feeling of vulnerability, of feeling maybe weak in many ways, it's not reality. Like, you feel that way, but it's not reality. You have more power than you think you do. You are more capable than you think you do. But it's kind of like whatever environment is around you, whatever is around you currently is not helping you come out of that. And neither is these previous perceptions of yourself or these current views of yourself than you have. And while your environment may feel suffocating to a certain extent, it feels even more so because of these views. So it's like you need to come to see yourself as someone who has power so you can move forward. They're showing me the imagery. This is very much learned helplessness. Okay, so learned helplessness in psychology is this concept that organisms, humans, animals, it was actually done initially with dogs, if I'm not mistaken. And I'm going to give the example of a dog just to make it more easy to understand, because I'm not going to give you the actual like scientific definition because it's kind of confusing. So basically they put the two dogs in a box. One of the dogs was allowed. They obviously both at the beginning tried to escape. One of them was allowed to jump out of the box, and the other one received small levels of like electroshock, right? Not enough to hurt them permanently, just to like give them like a little scare. Of course, that dog eventually stopped trying to get out of the box, right? So when they did the experiment again, they put the dogs in the boxes, right? This time they were not going to administer any type of electricity, nothing, right? The first dog that did not receive the shocks got out as usual, like the first time. But the second dog didn't try to get out of the box to begin with, because the dog had learned that when he had tried to get out of the box in the past, he received shocks. So this time around, the dog didn't even try because it expected the shocks, it expected the uncomfortable feeling, so the dog would rather just avoid that, right? Even though that was not reality. So really the dog wasn't really stuck in the box. He could leave at any point. It was just like this fear and what the dog learned to stay in the box to avoid the shocks, right? So the reason they're giving this to me is because they're not denying that you were hurt in the past, or that there are certain aspects of your environment that try to keep you stuck, but a huge part of it is your attitude and this learned helplessness. So you have learned to stay where you are and kind of be passive in your own life because you received shocks before, right? But right now, it's like you can't become unstuck without actually taking the first step. And that's why I feel like the Fool is here, of all things, because the Fool is literally taking a chance, taking a leap of faith, taking the first step. The Fool is the first card in the Major Arcana, although it's number 0. And that has to do with something else. I'm not going to get into the whole history of tarot right now, but to become unstuck, you actually have to take the first step. No one is going to come and take you out of the box. You actually have to take the first step yourself, even though you may be afraid or you may feel incapable. Does that make sense to you? I feel like I just went off on a tangent, and I'm very much channeling because I don't remember what I said anymore. So, oh look, you have Temperance and the Ace of Swords. Yeah. You need to you need to actually grab the wheel. Okay, that's what you actually need to do to become unstuck. Now, I do want to acknowledge this 7 and 5 of Swords over here. These two cards, this thing with the Suit of Swords that is usually seen as more negative, and these are cards that I feel like no reader likes to get in the readings because it's like usually something negative, and I feel like the reason why they're here is that they, instead of focusing on, so they don't want you to antagonize other people or antagonize yourself. What they want you to do is, like the High Priestess and the Ace of Swords that you saw there, is to have kind of like a higher perspective of the situation and try to see the situation for what it is, instead of trying to either blame someone, or I'm hearing a lot of whys. So I'm hearing like, why is this happening? So instead of doing that, try to look at the situation. Sometimes there's not a why. And even when there is, the why doesn't feel satisfying to hear, or it's not what we expected to hear. It doesn't feel like it's resolving anything within us. So it's like they would rather have you focusing on actually taking this first step than in any inner or outer conflict that may be going on with people around you, with yourself, with your own thoughts, and all of that. I feel like even though there's this sense of the learned helplessness kind of thing, it's not like you are at peace in this, and that's why you are at this reading currently, because there is the inner conflict. It's like within the box, right? There's the inner conflict within you. You're looking kind of for answers without moving, and so it's like inside of you going and replaying things over and over again, whatever your situation is. And then when you think about maybe leaving this box, what you start thinking about is the other people, the other things around you, what could go wrong, that the world is kind of like a scary place and all of that. And I won't deny that it's not, that it is, because the world is scary. But it's also the way that you choose to look at it, because there's something that I read one time from someone that I follow on social media, and she shared, it was like a little motivational thing she had written on her, like a board, like a cardboard, like a board on this wall. And what it said was, it said, do it. And then it said, are you afraid? And there was like a little yes, no thing, right? So it was kind of like a chart. And when you go to yes, it says, do it afraid. So it's kind of like not letting that fear and that learned helplessness, or that hostility that you expect, stop you, because it may not even be there anymore. Okay, so this is something that you have learned from your past experiences, but those circumstances, if you're in this reading right now, those circumstances are over. You are not there anymore. Sorry, I hit the mic. You are elsewhere, or maybe you are in the same place, but the people or the things that caused this situation to begin with are no longer there. So, and it's not easy to take that first step. You actually have to work through that fear, and you will probably have to work through a lot of emotions. And you know this already. Like, if you're here, you know this already. I have the High Priestess, but I feel like you know, but you haven't processed. And the thing is that if you don't actually process your emotions or what happened or anything like that. You just keep repeating it in your brain with those why that I kept hearing, right? So you replay it, but you never actually feel it, because either you stop before you become uncomfortable, or you replay only certain parts that they may cause you to feel certain things, but they are not the intense ones. Okay, so for you to actually become unstuck, you literally have to walk through that fear. Like, I have 4 cards here. I feel like the whole reading could be resumed in this card only, the full energy. It's kind of simply, they just want you to give life a chance. And they're reminding me of a conversation that I had with a I'm pretty sure he was a babalao. I say it in Spanish because I don't know what the word in English is. I went to get a reading from him, not with cards. He used shells and Ifa, the religion and divination system. And what he said to me, well, it wasn't him. He was reading from an Orisha to me, that he had a message for me. And this message that he gave me was that the Orisha, right? Orishas are like ancestral spirits, but they're kind of deities in a sense, but they are ancestral spirits. You can look them up if you want to. What he said to me was that I was afraid of life, but that he wanted me to become somebody. And that stuck with me, and it actually has changed a lot of the things I do. But it changed a lot because I recognized that it was true, that I was scared of life. And I feel like that can also be the case for you. So it doesn't mean they will stop being afraid. Sometimes you never stop being afraid, but they want you to do it afraid anyway. Just take the first step, as small as you think it may be. If you are inside the box and your first step is simply peering over the edge of the box, do that, right? So just take one small step, okay? And then you take the other one. So one step after the other. You don't have to rush forward. You can take your time, okay? I did want to acknowledge that I saw a spirit, and this may be for some of you. Please take it as it resonates, because this is not going to be for all of you. I can't really see them properly. I am seeing what they're wearing, and from what they're wearing, I'm deducting that this is a woman, a female, and this person is wearing kind of like you know, the shape that ponchos have, that kind of thing. It's not a poncho, I think, but it's kind of like that style. But the fabric is kind of see-through, and the neckline is kind of V-shaped, and it has like a little embroidered flowers on the neckline. So it looks like a female to me. I think she's dressed in all white. She gives me grandma energy, but more so young grandma energy. So this is someone's grandma that passed away when she was still relatively young, so I would say 50s, 60s. So maybe this is someone that passed away when you were a child, if you're around the same age as me or something like that. I don't know. I think she has black hair, but I am not fully sure because I'm only seeing mostly her outfit. So if that is for you, she's coming through, and that's what happens when I start channeling. I start seeing spirits. So yeah, she's here, and she is she wants you to know that she's with you clearly. Feels very mild in presence, so a very quiet, calm person. So she's helping you through, but I'm hearing that she, but I'm talking to everyone in general, because I assume, even though I can only see her, I know that there are more like spirits trying to talk to you, everyone, clearly. They can only help you if you let them, and you also need to help yourself, because The reason you are like this right now is because of past circumstances. Like I said, this is something that was created by someone else and through in a certain way by someone else, right? That was created by someone else. And it is really unfortunate, but it's kind of the reality of life that even though you didn't break your own brain, you are responsible for healing it, because nobody else is going to do that for you. Okay, so if you want to get out of your current situation, your guides may be able to send you 100 signs. You may receive, or some people may try to help you, but you are never going to get out of it if you don't actually take their hand. Okay, so that's what they want you to do. Take the first step, grab their hand, peer over the edge, just do one thing, and then everything is gonna become easier. The first step is always the scariest, okay? But they want you to take it because it's worth it for you. All right, so that is all I have for you. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe if you feel called to, because I do put out new videos every Sunday at 12 p.m. EST. Also, go ahead and follow me on Instagram if you want. I do all my updates of the channel over there and in the community tab. And if you want to buy me a coffee, I have my Venmo and my Cash App in the description down below. It is never expected, but it is always very appreciated. I wish you the best of luck on your journey and much, much love to you. Bye-bye. Helpful part 2 with this moon charm. This is your reading. So this is like a moon thing. This was from an earring. To me, it looks like a moon, but I'm not even sure what it is. Let's see what is you need to hear to become unstuck. What you need to do to become unstuck. Any of that thing. I'm not even sure. It's just the message. I don't even remember what I said that I was going to title this reading. So if I seem low energy in this reading, I kind of am, but I can still connect really well. It's just me being tired. It's been a long week, you know, but let's see. What is it that you need to hear to become unstuck? Oh, that is falling off my finger. So, I'm seeing some very pretty white flowers. Actually quite similar to these, but white. So this is a 5 of Cups. The 7 of Wands. I'm hearing the song Remember Me from the movie Coco, the Disney movie Coco. That's the song that, I mean, I don't want to spoil it for you. Just Google, put it on YouTube, the song, and listen to it. I don't know if you, probably a lot of people have watched it already, but like I don't want to spoil anything, I guess. So just listen to the song. That song. So there may be some ancestor over here. That is the Page of Cups. Okay. All right. I was thinking like, should I get another card for pile 2? And I'm like, no, that's enough. So for you, I should have known when they made me use this deck specifically that there was a lot of things for today's reading that we're going to deal with more heavy, like difficult topics, right? But I didn't think about it. So this one specifically, there's grief for you to deal with. And let me tell you right now that grief does not only come up when we lose someone close to us. Grief can occur. We can grieve missed opportunities. We can grieve relationships that we have been in that didn't work out. We can grieve versions of ourselves that we could have been. And we can also grieve the versions of ourselves that we will never be for whatever circumstance, even though we want to, right? So there is grief for you. And for some reason, they're not specifying what kind of grief this is. So I'm going to assume that it is very different for everyone, because, or else I feel like they would give me at least like a general thing. But what you need to literally become unstuck is to process that grief and let yourself finish the grieving process. Because I feel like at some point, whatever it is that you're grieving for, your grieving process was either interrupted for whatever reason, or you were never allowed to start it to begin with. And what happened is that you have these unresolved emotions because you never actually addressed them or felt them or anything like that. They just stay there because you never actually dealt with them. And when we have emotions that stay in our bodies, because they stay in our bodies, they can manifest in many, many ways. They can literally manifest in physical pain. Our immune system gets fucked up as well as if we have a lot of stress and all of that. So for at least some of you, this relates to a child, okay? I don't want to go into detail because I know this is probably this is a sensitive topic, of course, and I'm assuming that this is painful to talk about, so I am not going to get into the detail. If that is for you, take it. If not, discard it. When you have that grief, like I said, it was either cut short or you weren't allowed to finish grieving. For some of you, actually for many of you, especially if you're in a more developed country, or especially if you are like from the working class, you likely had to go back to work after whatever happened, or just go back to school. Or if you were never allowed to actually grieve it, maybe you were a child, and for some of you, I'm hearing that it's possible that your parents didn't like crying and they kind of, I'm hearing chastised. Is that a word? Maybe you know, for crying. So they told you that you shouldn't cry. This is going to be especially true if you are a male, or you were raised as a male, because generally in society, men are discouraged from feeling their emotions, especially sadness, and they are discouraged from crying. This can be true for women too, but because what I'm seeing is a male child, I'm seeing a boy, okay? So maybe that's just the way they're representing it to me, but I'm acknowledging it, okay? So that may have been the case. So because you were never allowed to cry, and you were never comforted either, because no matter what the situation is, if you still have unresolved grief, that means that you were also not comforted. You did not have an outside support. You had to simply carry on with your life like nothing happened, and people around you probably also acted like nothing happened. So in an attempt to go back to normalcy, maybe things went back to normal, but you didn't feel normal anymore. There was something else that you were carrying with you, and it's this grief. This is a very beautiful reading to me, because immediately after this 5 of Cups, and literally the 5 of Cups says there are 3 flasks here that I can read the labels of. One of them is cyanide, the other one is morphine, but then the other one is a passion tincture. So you're grieving not only the bad times, you're also grieving the good times, because you will never get them again, whatever your situation is, right? So that is okay. Grieving not only entails the bad. You're grieving the good as well, especially if this was a person, right? So you're grieving the bad in the sense of the fact that you maybe, if it's a person, like you will never see them again, right? But also the good in the sense of that you will never get to make memories with them again, right? So that's just an example. But the reason I feel like this is so beautiful is because immediately after this 5 of Cups that we have right here, which is the 4 of Elixirs in this deck, we have the 7 of Wands, which is a card about, for me, literally the words that I'm hearing right now, it's pushing through. So this is a card of resistance, okay? Of defense, all right? But this card always, even though I feel like this is mostly associated by most people with the 9 of Wands, I feel like this is a card of active resistance, okay? Of moving forward despite obstacles. So for you to become unstuck, yes, you have to deal with that grief, but then you have to decide to walk away from this grief, okay? Because the thing with the Five of Cups is that the Five of Cups is looking towards the past. It's dealing with the grief in the present. That is what the Five of Cups is doing. If you look at the traditional tarot, the person is looking at the cups that are spilled over towards the past, not looking at the cups towards the future. And so this is kind of like the present state that you will be in right here. So in that grieving. So they don't want you to skip over the grieving. They want you to finish the grieving process. Because if you skip it, you will go back to it. Like when you try to get out, you will have to go back to it, because whatever is unresolved will keep coming up. I can't really explain to you why, but it happens. So if you need to cry. If you need to write a letter, write a letter. If you need to meditate, if you need to take a vacation, whatever it is that you need to do to grieve, do it. Allow yourself the compassion and the mercy to feel, okay? And this is especially important for you if the message about not being allowed to feel your emotions whatever happened as a child, like if that resonated for you, this is especially important, okay? So you need to learn that compassion and direct it towards yourself, because you deserve it, okay? And then with the Seven of Wands, once you deal with that grief, you will need to push forward, and I love this reading because it's telling me more than just how to become unstuck. I feel like they're actually giving you hope with these two cards, because then I have the Page of Cups. The Page of Cups is like very innocent, very playful to me. It's in a sense, like energetically, very much an opposite of the Five of Cups, right? So this is telling me that this is your future, okay? So this is kind of regaining some of that, healing that inner child, regaining some of your joy, right? And I say some because the Page of Cups is still the lowest court card, right? So this is not the end of the journey either. So there's more to come, but it's like they're giving you the hope that there's something better in the future for you. There's something better than this. Even though this will be painful, because it will be, it is temporary. It's something that needs to be dealt with in order to move forward. It is not going to be a constant state in your life. Okay? There is something better, and it does get better. And I want to clarify now that I say it does get better, as someone who has struggled with mental health myself, I know that when people tell you it gets better, sometimes it feels very frustrating because you can't see how it could possibly get better. But I've come to realize that when people tell you that it gets better is because while you may not be able to see how that could be possible, other people see that better can and will exist for you. Okay? So again, nothing in this world is forever. You should know that, especially if you're grieving the loss of a person. Just like, unfortunately, that did not last forever, nor will your grief, okay? So your grief will not last forever. It will come back and it will be uncomfortable if it is pushed down, because it's not meant to stay there. But once it's dealt with, that's it, right? So you just can move forward. And when I say that's it, I don't mean that you will never experience some level of grief afterwards, because sometimes it can happen. But it won't be debilitating or make you feel stuck, because you have already dealt with the most of the emotions, okay? And it's also about learning to actually process your emotions, because when you push down your emotions, you're not processing them at all. You're just kind of putting a cork on it, and you keep pushing down to keep the cork from popping up and hitting someone's eye, okay? So your way to become unstuck is to deal with that grief, to deal with those emotions, to deal with that from the past, and then move forward again towards a better future, because there is a better future for you. Okay, so that's all I have for you. I love that reading. It was beautiful. I really like that. So that is all I have for you. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe if you feel called to, because I do put out new videos every Sunday at 12 p.m. EST. Also, go ahead and follow me on Instagram if you want. I do love my updates about the channel over there, and also in the community tab. If you want to buy me a coffee, I have my Venmo and my Cash App in the description down below. It is never expected, but it is always very appreciated. I wish the best of luck on your journey, and much, much love to you. Bye-bye. Here for pile 3 with the 3 leaves is your reading. I don't even know what this is. I just got it from, they came with a bottle. I don't know. So let's see, with your permission, pile 3, what do you need to hear right now to become unstuck? What do you need to do to become unstuck? If I seem low energy during the reading, I kind of am, because I'm tired, but the message is gonna be fine. Don't worry about it. It's just that me being physically tired. So I'm usually very much more lively on my videos. So that's why I say it, because if you're a recurrent a recurrent viewer, first of all, thank you so much. Second of all, you probably know that I'm much more hyper than this usually. So let's see. Okay. I'm smelling roses. That's nice. The only thing that I have here that could possibly smell like roses is literally all the way over there on my altar, and it's closed. So I shouldn't be smelling that. Like, my altar is a good 2 meters away from me or more. So, Ace of Pentacles. I don't feel like you're gonna like this message, because the first thing that they say to me is that you need patience. Nobody likes being told that you need to have patience. I don't either. I'm gonna be completely honest. I don't either. They're like, have patience. It's not the right time. It's not. You're like, when is it the right time? I feel like I've been waiting forever. Yep. Well, patience. That is your first. That is your first. The main message for you. Weirdly enough, it doesn't feel like you're stuck. You feel like you are, but you are not stuck, because they're showing me the flow of energy. So they're showing me, if you've watched the movie Nemo, Finding Nemo. That's not the name of the movie. The name is Finding Nemo. That part of the movie where they go to the turtles and they're like whatever the fuck the name is of the thing, the current. Is that the rapids? Is it the rapids? Is that the name I'm not sure. Well, the thing where the turtles are. It looks really fast from the outside and when you go in, right? But when you are inside the rapids thing, except for the one part where it really accelerates, it feels mostly normal. So while they're going super fast in this current, they don't feel it as, like, they don't see it. They don't realize that they're going that fast, when someone from the outside would be able to see how fast they're actually going. And this is just like perception of time, and it's giving me like a small headache just thinking about it, because I had someone explain this to me and my brain just exploded. So, but the reason that I'm explaining this is that you feel like you're stuck because you are inside the current. Okay, so you don't feel that you're going that fast. It's like astronauts inside the spaceship. They're going super fast, but they don't technically feel like that. They don't feel, you know what I mean? Like, they're inside, they feel something, but they don't feel like they are being ripped apart by the sheer speed that the spaceship is going at, right? So it doesn't feel like, for you it feels like you're stuck, like you're not moving anywhere. But if you look from the outside, you can see that you're actually moving. So what they're telling me is that I'm actually much more hyper for your pile. For your pile, So technically what they're saying is you're not actually stuck. You're just kind of getting to your destination. It feels like you are, but you're not. So the Ace of Pentacles is very slow because it's Pentacles. Pentacles are the slowest, right? So to you, it feels like there is no change. It's like planting a seed. So you have the seed for like the first few days and you're like, nothing is fucking happening to the seed. Is it even taking root? And then suddenly on one day, you see that there's a leaf out. You're like, oh, there it is. It doesn't mean that in the previous days that you didn't see anything happening on the outside, that nothing happened. Something was clearly happening. You just couldn't see it. So it's kind of like that. Where you feel like you're stuck because you're watching from the inside of the current. Okay? So there is a flow of energy. You are not actually stuck. Okay? And what you need to become unstuck, to that is your perception. I'm telling you that you are not stuck, but to stop being stuck, you literally can't really do anything. You just need to be patient, because then things are going to pick up. Because we have the Six of Swords here. The Six of Swords is literally having to leave Five of your swords behind, get on a boat, and literally go somewhere else. Right? So this is a shift. This I'm not gonna call it sudden movement, but it kind of is. So you are kind of just actually now you're moving, as opposed to the Ace of Pentacles, which is like the very beginning of the little seed where almost nothing seems like it's happening, right? But then you get the Six of Swords, which is the movement towards something else, and then you get the Magician, and so you actually have to be patient in the beginning stages when you're not seeing any results, when you are feeling stuck. So things can take their course, because the thing is with the current, like the same example from the Finding Nemo movie that they were showing me, you can't make the current go faster just because you want it to. You have to wait to get to your destination. Right? Same thing with the seed. You can't hurry it up. Like, okay, so if you know, like gardening, you'd be like, oh, maybe I can use this product to make it grow faster. Yeah, but you can't skip from seed to full tree in a day just because you want to. So you have to actually wait. There is a process, right? And this process of whatever it is that you're going through is painful, is low in the beginning, to the point that you feel like nothing is happening, and that is why you feel stuck. And then things pick up and move much faster, and you see the results. So it's like it's gonna take longer in the beginning stages than it takes for to see results once it starts moving. So like I said, we're not stuck. It's interesting because this is supposed to be a reading about how to become unstuck, and they're like, actually, no, you're not. Which is, it's weird. So you feel like you are, which I don't blame you. It's kind of like a big troll from from the universe. Is there anything else? Yes, I feel like there's something else for you, but I'm not sure why I'm not getting it. Maybe I need another card, because I feel like there's something else for you apart from that. So like, don't stop attending to whatever this is, because like I was saying about the seed, maybe you won't see results in like the first 2 or 3 days, but like I said, that doesn't mean that nothing is happening. But if you stop watering the seed, if you stop putting it in the sun, it's not gonna grow. So they want you to keep doing whatever it is that you're doing despite not seeing results. So apply that to your specific situation, whatever it is, okay? There's the Six of Wands. I only wanted one more, but like, okay, and the Emperor, yeah. I feel like the Emperor is redundant here. I don't know. Okay. Yeah. I actually didn't need that, like the cards. I was looking for something else, and it was the message that I actually eventually got to. But yeah, so the Six of Wands, you will see results. Literally, you have the Emperor here, you have the Six of Wands. Your results will come. So like this is literally a reassurance that you will get there. Because I feel like even with me telling you that you're not stuck, you're like, but I feel stuck. Makes sense. I'm not telling you that you don't feel it. Like, it's completely valid. But it's like, I feel like they're kind of reassuring you that you will get there. So you can actually sit through this stage right here. Okay. And what they're showing me the most with the Emperor, like not this card, but like the traditional Rider-Waite's tarot, when you have the Emperor has like a field of wheat behind his throne, and it's fully grown out. It's like ready for harvest, right? And the reason I feel like they're showing me that is because the harvest is like actually your results. It's your outcome. It's the outcome of planting the seed. So it's like you will get to have your cake and eat it too. But first you need to sit through the initial stages that are slower. Okay. So if anything, this is a big lesson of patience to you. So keep doing what it is that you're doing to grow the seed, to feed your situation, to make sure that you get your results. So don't give up just because you don't see immediate results. So put steady effort into it. And also, if you feel like, because obviously you shouldn't overwater a seed, do something else in the meantime that maybe is not exactly related to your goal, but will help you anyway. So for example, let's say that your goal is, let's say that you want to work in another country, and you have been applying, and you can't find anything, right? So you don't see any of the actual results, right? You applied and it takes a long time to get the interview, or they want you to keep doing interviews and you haven't, like, that type of stuff, right? So your desired outcome clearly is to get the job and get to the other country. But the interviews and the process and whether they accept you or not is up to the other employees, right? So up to the company. You can't really control what they're going to do, but let's say they want this country that you want to go to is Germany, right? What will help you if you get this job? Knowing how to speak German. So maybe start doing that in the meantime as well. So don't stop searching for the job, but maybe simultaneously learn the language. And so when you get the job, you have a little bit more advantage, right? So that is just an example. It doesn't have to apply to your situation, but I'm just saying. So that's kind of what they want you to do with this. And that will also help you not feel stuck, because you will be making progress in another area that is separate, but still in a certain way linked to your end goal. Okay? I'm hoping that made sense, because they used an insane amount of metaphors for your reading for no reason. So, yeah. They're literally showing me like an Aries. Not Aries. They're showing me the ram. So, the symbol of Aries, and they're kind of joining it back to astrology. Aries is the first sign of the zodiac. So this is a beginning. So, yeah. They really do want you to be patient with this and to move with the current, okay? You can't go against the current. You can't make the current go faster. You can only go with it, okay? Just saying. So that is all I have for you. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe if you feel called to, because I do put out new videos every Sunday at 12 p.m. EST. Also, go ahead and follow my Instagram if you want. I do have my updates about the channel over there, and also in my community tab. If you want to buy me a coffee, I have my Venmo and my Cash App in the description down below. It is never expected, but it is always very appreciated. I wish you the best of luck on your journey, and much, much love to you. Bye-bye.